Air New Zealand recently let me ride along in the jump seat of an Airbus A320 flight from Queenstown to Auckland to observe some of its advanced departure and approach procedures using Required Navigation Performance, or RNP. So here we are leaving runway 23 at Queenstown Airport, taking off to the southwest. Soon into the flight, the captain engaged the autopilot to begin flying the RNP departure route. It happens about now. RNP essentially means the aircraft's flight management system can fly a very accurate programmed path. In this case, there is a margin for error of 0.2 nautical miles, although in practice the aircraft generally remains within a wingspan of the ideal track. This allows precise arrival and departure routes to be flown in all conditions, which is particularly useful when there is a combination of mountainous terrain, shifty winds and low visibility, as there frequently is in Queenstown. I flew into Queenstown the previous night, so I didn't get to see much, but on a fine morning like this, you get a great view of the surrounding mountains that make this an incredibly scenic airport to fly in and out of. After the RNP departure route, the autopilot will remain on and navigate from waypoint to waypoint up the west coast of the South Island towards Auckland. As we get closer to Auckland, the pilots will review the arrival procedures. This map shows the standard terminal arrival routes, or STARS, that lead to the start of the RNP approach at Point Esnax. This is the curved RNP approach, leading from Esnax to runway 23 at Auckland Airport. And this is the instrument landing system, or ILS approach, that is the secondary option on this flight plan. The pilot brings up the approach plates on a tablet device and checks the approach details that have been preloaded into the flight computer. In the following clip, the pilot is checking the secondary ILS approach.
Then it branches off and goes to Zorba.
Micro Golf, the
240 knots is correct. Then it goes to Sabab. 220 knots at or above 4,000 is the restriction. There it is there. And then to MRAG, 210 knots at or above 3, that's correct. Now I go to the ILS page, because that's the approach that I'll be doing off that. It's the ILS DME runway 23 left, which starts at MRAG. And then we go to set that off, 3,000 feet at 9.1 miles, which is there. The final approach fixes at 1,600 feet, which is there. It's correct. And then missed approach out to Langu at 3,000, so that's all correct. So if he happens to clear me on that approach, I'll just activate the secondary and it's already in there.
However, in this case, the secondary approach is not needed, as the pilot is cleared to the RNP approach. The autopilot is flying the curved part of the RNP approach that you can see on the display, which will line the aircraft up on the runway. As you can see, it's a very steady, constant turn and descent. Slightly later in the same approach, the aircraft is still flying the curved RNP path.
1,000.
As it passes through 1,000 feet, the runway can be seen at top left. The autopilot is still engaged, and the RNP approach will continue towards the runway. At 800 feet, the pilot disengages the autopilot, although it could remain on to as low as 250 feet. The pilot now flies the aircraft manually for the first time since just after takeoff. The auto land capability is not available since this is not an ILS approach.